You are listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast, a podcast by diehard fans for fans. Mark covers all things Penn State football and the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as anything related to the sports and fitness world. Tune in weekly to listen to a couple of dedicated fans talk about these topics without filters. Thank you for listening to the Mark Lesko Podcast.
What is up, Yinzers? Welcome to the Mark Lesko Podcast. I am your host, J-Rod, and this is Black and Gold Mondays. All right, guys, the big topic for every team this week is going to be getting back on track in the Burgh. Let us start with these guys right here. Saturday's game was very exciting because they won. They did not get swept. They weren't embarrassed. That is really what we are expecting from this type of team that had spent at least the last 2 months trying to get into the playoffs. And after seeing the first week of disappointments, we saw that they had a little strength left when they replaced Skinner with Sheloffs. And then they went to, they moved off another player. I think they went from Gerard to Solovius. I think that's how that went. But yeah, they made some changes. And that was really what it came down to. I think if I'm hearing this correctly, it says Dan Muse confirmed that Arthur Sheloffs will be starting Game 5 tonight, so that's a good thing. And with the lines, they said they're basically use the same lines and defensive pairings in Game 4 as well. So it's Reichel, Crosby, Rust, and line 2 with Witherspoon and Carlson. And then it's line 2 is Chinnikov, Novak, Malkin with Gerard and Letang. And the third line, Ernest, Soderblom, and Kindle, Mantha with Deshay and Soloviev. I'm sorry. And the fourth final line will be Dewar, Lizotte, Acuri with Graves and Clifton. I mean, this right here is really what you need to see from this particular Penguins team. They need to push as hard as they possibly can. They need to show up again. I'm not saying that we don't have what it takes to basically break tradition. With this is what we're going to do. We're basically going to try to redefine hockey. This would be the fourth team in NHL history, if they pull this off, to come back from a 3-0 deficit. That's huge. That would be a pretty awesome undertaking by the team, but this is the kind of team that can do things like that. I mean, knowing that Sydney, Evgeny, and Chris have all taken things back to how they once played many years ago, this is such an important time for the Penguins to really try to push and try to make this as tough as a series as possible. I know, again, they've done that maybe in Game 3. They were really close in that. They just fell apart in the end. And it was in Philadelphia. So, I mean, it was definitely a tough matchup for them to overcome. But as you're starting to see, like, the Flyers can make mistakes. They have a little bit of goalie issues here. We can expose that. I mean, we have enough on this team, the Flyers, to know how to play them. And if anything, I don't think Sydney and company want to end their careers allowing this to happen on home ice. I would like to hope not. To think that this might be the final time that we see this group of guys on the rink together making another push. This right here shows that they want to at least make a series out of it by going into that game on Saturday and finding some way to win it. It was so important for guys like Crosby and Malkin to show up in this game. But more importantly, it was good for Dan Muse to actually show up too. His coaching style is kind of, two-dimensional. Like, if it's not one, it's only two, nothing more than that. And it just comes from that place of, like, stubbornness too. I think that really comes from it as well. When you're the head coach of this team and you know what works and what you want to work, sometimes does not mesh. And this whole series, I feel, has kind of been that downfall of that stubbornness. He definitely has shown that he can coach you to the playoffs. But once he makes up his mind, this is how it's going to go, then you can't change it. He won't make changes. That shows that you're a first-year head coach, and that shows also that you know what you think you know, and you're not going to move off of it. And that can sometimes spell doom for any kind of playoff chance for your team. Like, these players can only do so much. But after, what was that, Thursday night's game, when it was the big melee where there was all the players in the box, like there was like 12 guys that got penalized in that game. And they were really close to keeping that game within reach. But things like that screw up the momentum. And I'm not saying that all comes from a lack of leadership, but that is probably one of the more important aspects of what is going to keep this team staying in it. Like, you can't make those mistakes anymore. You cannot keep making the issues be, more of inconsistencies and just there's no discipline. Like, there's got to be a structure. There's got to be someone who's voicing this and trying to keep these guys focused. And the whole issue is that we haven't allowed this team, the Flyers, to kind of control the whole series. And seeing what they did on Saturday has a little different narrative. Now, can you take that momentum and ride with it? It's a possibility. Nothing is impossible, but it's also not heard of for a team to be this far down and to overcome it all. But this is this great icons of the three guys with Letang and Malkin and Crosby. These are the players that can defy history because they already have. There's never been a tangent like this. I mean, when you hear like what is all at stake here, it's a pretty incredible thing. I mean, Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. I mean, this is the most playoff games that three guys have played on a team in NHL history on the same team. Unbelievable. I mean, their 16-year run with playoff stretch like that right there will go down as one of the best ever. And again, that was the last time that had happened with the Calgary Flames, the last team to do that kind of stretch. And that was way back from 76 to 91. Unbelievable. But with Sidney, I mean, Sidney's 132 assists in the playoffs is the fifth most in history. And also his 72 goals are the second most among active players right now. Like, that tells you what this team is trying to go for. And of course, Malkin could very well. He's 1 point away from having sole possession of 12th place in NHL history in playoff points. Like, there's a lot that they're chasing. So I would like to think they're going to try to do everything they can to make these guys have what they deserve. They have been in this league for so long. They have made it this far. So until it's over, guys, I think we should just keep on riding this wave. Hopefully the Penguins can swim through it, and I'll be rooting for them as much as possible. This is right here the most important stretch for the rest of the playoffs. And could they keep going? Again, this is a great group of guys, and I think that this could be the chance of a lifetime to make history, and I hope that is the case. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to say on the Penguins for today. A little short, but I just want to get right into this. So, Pittsburgh Pirates. So the Pirates, this week, they have shown they were 3-3 on the road at Milwaukee, or at Texas and Milwaukee. The series against the Rangers, I know that was, back and forth, and they made it kind of like they were inconsistent. They showed versions of their 2025 selves. And can that happen in a season? You expect that from the Pirates. They are always going to have reasons for not showing up at some point in the season. That's just their MO as an organization. When they won the game, it was 8-4, I believe it was. In the second game, they lost the first one close, but in the but in the second game, they were up like 4-0. They let them tie up 4-4. That was Braxton Ashcraft. He was having a little bit of a wonky last start, and of course, this whole situation with him, that's a very unfortunate thing. I mean, I'm not going to go into the details of it all, but the guy has been placed on the bereavement list and family emergency stuff. So hopefully everything's all right with him and his family, and thoughts and prayers to them. The last start he had, he was good, but this run support was inconsistent, and we had to wait until like the 8th or 9th inning to finally win that game, and we won. But then we allowed them to just kind of take the last game, and we lost that series to Texas. And it wasn't like there was anything major, but there wasn't a whole lot of urgency either. So they're showing that they want to kind of put things in, their own speed, and they want to control it. Fine, but between Kelly and the team, I hope that they realize this is a very strong division this year. This might be one of the craziest divisions I have seen from the Pirates in quite some time. Yeah, this whole division is up for grabs for sure. The fact that the Cardinals are the worst team at 14-13, tied with Milwaukee at the bottom, and you have the Cincinnati Reds doing like unspeakable things, because how the Reds are winning games and how they are, their record shows, it doesn't match up with the whole 18-10 record, and they have a +1 run differential. They're winning a bunch of close games, and their record is against teams that don't have really good records. I think the teams they have faced. I think the Tigers are close to 500, and that's one of the tougher teams they have faced recently. I understand you got to take advantage of your schedule, and the Reds just have, I think, one of the easiest starts to a season for like the first month and a half. They have 6 weeks pretty much of the bottom feeder of the MLB, and they haven't faced anyone in the Central, I don't think, outside of Pittsburgh. I think we're the only team. I don't know if they faced the Cubs yet. I don't even know if they faced Milwaukee. Maybe they faced the Cardinals, maybe. But yeah, we're still the first month of the season. We have already taken them on. Like the 3 teams in the Central, we're about to face tonight with the Cardinals, but we'll get into that in a bit. The overall feeling you got when you went into Milwaukee, seeing that they lost that series, and then they went into Milwaukee, it started this huge stretch of NL Central. I don't think we have this kind of stretch in our schedule for the rest of the season. Taking on Milwaukee, of course, is always a daunting task, especially in that house of horrors that it is. And when you watched Friday night's game with Paul Skeens on the mound, it was as if he had everything to prove, and he, of course, shows up in a masterful way. And Connor Griffin, 3 for 4 on his birthday with his first home run of his career, man, in Milwaukee. That's sending a message saying, all right, dude, you're going to be around for a long time. You're going to have to know this division. And that right there is a huge statement saying this guy is going to be a headache for the NL Central for years to come. I hope that is the case because he looked masterful at it. But yeah, they ended up blanking the Milwaukee Brewers 6-0. Never do we see that. As Pirate fans, we know that when we face Milwaukee, it is either we have to go into extra innings and win 18-17 or something. Like, it's got to be one of the craziest scores you've ever heard of. It's always a squeaker. It's always extra innings. Like, it goes back and forth so crazily. And seeing a blowout in Milwaukee with this team, it shows you how different it has been for the past decade. This team with Don Kelly making the decisions they do with this lineup, they have absolutely answered the call for the offseason and so far for what they have to show that they have improved on. This is definitely a team that we have not, as a Pittsburgh Pirates fan base, seen. And can we just have a great moment to enjoy this? Because it's just so important to remember how bad it has been for so long and all those years of bad games. Now we are taking on our division and we are actually showing up correctly. We are absolutely being the best versions of ourselves against our division. That is the best thing we can ask for as Pirate fans. So the fact that they took the first game 6-0, and then the next game, going back and forth, we scored 2, they scored 2, we scored a run, they scored a run, basically in the same inning. So by the end of the game, we had to go into extras, and here came I know Reynolds was the one who got the first hit, and then they put runners at second and third, and Nick Gonzalez comes up, hits that beautiful single, scores in 2 more runs, makes it 6-3, and that's how they took care of business. Johan Ramirez came in and pitched the final inning, and when they took the series, guys, we beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee. It's the best feeling. It really is. So that's like it's like beating the Dodgers or beating the Reds. Like, it's so important to see this team make these big surges, and they are absolutely showing up when it matters, especially with the division. I can't be happier knowing that players like Connor are improving. Guys like Nicky G, who could easily be a bad player, who show up. And Spencer Horwitz is starting to come into form, and Ozuna is making hits when it matters. That is really the testament to that coaching staff and how these players know how big this season has been so far. And it's been a great ride so far. I am so happy to see the Pittsburgh Pirates having the success that they are having right now. All right, guys, we're going to end this subject with the Pirates. We're going to talk about the upcoming schedule this week. It is all NL Central. It is all red teams. It is all if we take these teams, we are the best team in this division. It really is going to prove that. So far this season, we have had a great record against these teams. Now we've got to do it again 2 more times. So when you look at a team like the St. Louis Cardinals going in a 4-game series against the Pirates at PNC Park, again, we always talk about when you come into this arena and these types of division games, how can you match up against your opponent? So for tonight's game, I do know that it is Dustin May taking on our bullpen. Again, with the whole Braxton Ashcraft situation, he can't pitch tonight. So they have Mason Montgomery pitching to start. He's going to be the starter. And then I think Wilbur Zadotel, I think. Oh, I want to say his name right. I know the guy we got from the AAA, he's coming up to relief, and he's going to have to go 4 or 5 innings. And with the Cardinals, yes, they have made some good offensive strides so far this season. Their pitching is where it's going to be. Can we take advantage of that? And I feel like that is a weakness we can build on. It's, for instance, tonight's game. I say by the 3rd inning, we're probably going to be up 2-0. And by the 5th, they will score a run off of Dotel. And you then have 2-1 going into the 6th. I think we're going to have a little surge. We're going to have like 3-4 runs. I'll say 3. And we'll be 5-1 by the 6th. And maybe another run for the Cardinals. Just something from our bullpen gives up just a little solo home run, a little excuse me hit. And then we get another run to put in, and then we close it all out, and we win tonight's game 6-2. Then for tomorrow's game, we don't even have someone scheduled. They have not announced anything. I know Leah is the pitcher's name for the Cardinals. I think that's who I saw. I don't know that's how you say his name. Leahy, Leah, something like that. But he'll be pitching. He doesn't have the best ERA. I think he has a 2-2 record, so he's okay. I feel as if this is another game we can take advantage of. It depends on who's pitching. So I feel it's going to be probably we'll cruise the whole game. I don't think we're going to lose this one. It'll probably be like 3-0 by the 6th. Then we'll probably tackle on another run by the 8th, and then I think we'll win 4-0. And for the game after that, if I'm right about the timing, I think Skeens pitches that game on Wednesday, and then Keller pitches on Thursday. Yeah, so they're going to be seeing the most important pitchers we have, and that would probably give us the opportunity to then go into those last two games and make the statement. And I do think we have what it takes to do that, guys. I think in the 3rd game with Skeens pitching, it's going to be back and forth. And by the 6th inning, we'll probably be up 2-1, maybe just 2-0. Again, I don't know what Paul Skeens is ever going to give up, but it's possible they may get a run, but I'll say he'll go scoreless. And then we'll probably get one more run and they'll finally score a run in the third, make it a little bit of a scare, but they'll get out of it, and they'll win 3-1. And with the final game, Keller has a little bit of a bounce back. In that regard, like, I think he can keep going in that pace that he was at. And then this will be the one that's going to be tough. I think it's an afternoon game for Thursday, and it might be one of those close matches, 1-1 by the 6th. And then we'll probably let them go up 2-1 in the 7th. But I think we'll have an opportunity in the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th, have two guys on second and third, and a guy like Reynolds, hits a 3-run home run, and we end the game 4-2. So sweep the Cardinals in our first series, and then we'll be, what would that make them? 14, 20, 18, 19, 16. They're 16-12 right now, so 20-12, yeah. So they'll be 20-12 by the end of that series. And with the Cincinnati Reds, they're going to go, it will be in Pittsburgh, so it won't like we have, the crowd against them. Now, they will be taking the back end of this. This might be the first series loss. It might be. I think we're going to lose the first game on Friday. I think by Saturday we will bounce back. We'll probably lose by something like 4-1 on Friday. But I think we're going to bounce back, and I think we will win that one, a close one. I think it's going to be like 4-3 on Saturday. And the rubber match, I think, it sounds like it'll be, hopefully, again, we don't know the situation with Ashcraft yet. If he's back by that point and he's pitching in that game, maybe Chandler will also be a part of this. I think I messed that up. I think Chandler's pitching on Wednesday, and then it's Skeens on Thursday, I think. So if that's the case, then Keller pitches on Friday. Yeah, we're gonna sweep. I still think the Cardinals will 4-game sweep against the Cardinals, but knowing that Keller's going to pitch on Friday now, I think I'm going to have to switch I think we're going to win that game now. And if they're just going to miss Skeens, the Reds, then yeah, I think that we could lose it. I'll flip it. I'll say we'll win the close game on Friday 4-3, and then we'll lose on Saturday 3-1. And then we'll do the rubber match. Again, if Ashcraft's back by then, hopefully they figure things out, and we see them go to a score of, I think it's going to be like 6-3 Pittsburgh. So I think we're going to win the series, but we are going to lose a game. So that will take us 6-1. And then we'll be 22-14 or 13. Yeah, 22-13. That sounds like that should have the number one spot in the division after that point. So it's going to be a crazy week, but this right here is where you need to step it up. You need to take charge and make sure that you have that division to make the statement. Tell this MLB and the whole MLB watching world that the Pirates are here, they are for real, and they're going to do what they need to do offensively, defensively. I think the only thing you have to wonder is, can this bullpen have the sustainability that is not Madison, Soto, and Santana? Those are the three names you rely on. Right now, Mason Montgomery's been solid too. The only ones that you really wonder about, it's just they need to make sure that these guys have their situations where they don't have to be in a winning save situation. As long as you can make them comfortable and give them the best chance to do something to improve, then this is where this team is at. They have a lot of great pieces. They're not elite in everything. They're kind of like 5th and 10th in a lot of positions with OPS and ERA, stolen bases, home runs. This team has a lot of talent. And I think that this right here is going to prove for this week that this is a team that is going to do something for the next several months. All right, guys. We're going to be switching over to these guys. Can we just talk about how the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL draft in Pittsburgh was a tremendous success, guys? How awesome was that weekend? They just broke the attendance record, 320,000+, and making it one of the most electrifying spectacles, seeing all those absolutely amazing icons coming onto the stage to start it all out with, Big Ben and Terry and Mel Blount and Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward. It was just, there was just so much good stuff. And it just makes your heart so warm as a Steeler fan to see that much greatness and that much history right there on that stage. It was a great way to kick off the whole night. Now, of course, Mark and I did have that talk about getting Max. I want to say his last name, and I don't want to butcher it. It's amazing how we constantly are getting these guys with hard to pronounce last names. But if we look through here at these guys, again, if I look at how the name is spelled, it's Iheanachor, Einiker. If I just said Max Einiker, I hope that's how it's said. That was not the sexiest pick that they could have gone with, but if you step back after the initial reaction of it, you know that this guy was a lot of analysts, like top 20, top 25 players in the draft on that. He was one of the highest regarded offensive line. I mean, he was in like the top 5, top 10 names. And yeah, he has a lot of cachet. And, the surreal, let's see. When he was asked, he just says, can't describe it. No other feeling like that. A once in a lifetime opportunity for sure. And he is very emotional. And of course, everyone has to bring up the fact that, his cousin in the, when he was shown, we saw more of his family than we wanted to see. But that right there just tells you that this guy is so important for things going forward, to find out what we're going to need from him in terms of his position, being, I think traditionally a left tackle or a right tackle. Gosh, I'm terrible at this. But I think he said he was right tackle. So that means we move Fautanu back to left tackle. And then we just let Spence and Dylan figure out the rest with guard. I'm not really sure. It's still a very interesting thing what is going to be done with that line. And once they figure that out, that's what we'll know is going to be the right direction for whoever's going to be the quarterback. Now, we're talking about the next night. Jeremy Bernard from Alabama, having led his team in receptions in the 2 years he was at Alabama with Ty Simpson. That right there was very important to see that. I mean, he is absolutely one of the more important players to have in this system. I mean, I know it wasn't the Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston like we wanted, but I mean, Bernard, it's again, we're looking for a solid WR3. And because right now we have Pittman and we have Metcalf. Those are 1 and 2 respectfully. So I think it's the right direction, because if you imagine guys like Scott or Denzel or Casey coming here and expecting to be WR1, I don't think it would have worked with Metcalf or Pittman trying to have their say too. So I feel like Bernard is going to be in the right mindset to think, I can come into this system and insert myself right here. I think he'd be absolutely fine accepting this role. And that's exactly what I need from him. So the more you hear it, I think that was the right direction to go with him. And of course, when Mr. JPJ and JPS, Joey Porter Sr. and Jr. coming out and announcing Drew Aller from Penn State is coming to the Steelers. I mean, how could you not get excited about that as a Penn State fan? The guy was projected to go after pick 100, and we picked him 76th. Shows you how much they were looking at him beyond what his collegiate numbers have shown. Pittsburgh has been following this guy for quite some time, and I feel that this is so obvious from that pick. I know that we are always going to talk about how James Franklin basically ruined Aller, and we're going to be doing a lot of polishing off. He came in rusty. It's going to be a lot of, finishing to eat off. But, that's the thing. That Mike McCarthy, he is a great offensive-minded guy. He's a quarterback coach. So, therefore, he will have the right mindset to fix Aller if need be. This right here is very important for this his development and, of course, the future for the Steelers. I think that what you also have to appreciate with this pick is it's going to push Howard into in desperation mode and survival mode. That's really what you want to see. He hasn't been battle tested like Aller. Regardless of these two guys' career paths from the college world to the professionals. And yeah, it was unfortunate that Howard got hurt when he did, but the guy has not been battle tested like Aller has. That poor guy with, again, going through that system at Penn State where he had no real offensive coordinator to help him. He had no coach that wanted to improve anything or work with that. He had to basically just work with all the confines of what the university and what his teammates gave him. It was a very unfortunate circumstance. Howard was gifted at Ohio State. He had all of the weapons. That's the thing. When you come from a collegiate school like Ohio State, basically all you have to do is know how to tie your shoes and you're going to be fine. That's really what this comes down to. So Will Howard has not yet seen the diversity part of the hard work and learning through a failing system because, again, he's always had the right weapons. I feel as if Aller, if he was to go into minicamp this summer with Howard to fight for this spot, I feel as if that will show us, is there a future with these guys? And if there's not, then there's a future next year. It's a win-win in this coming season, even if Rodgers were to come back for this final season. And then you would have to discuss who's going to be QB3 and QB2 with Howard and Aller. And whoever wins it, guys, that's going to be the future potential for your team. And I just feel like this is a season that's going to make sure that we put the right guys in place for it. And if you look at the rest of this draft class, the next guy that was picked up after Aller was that was Dalen Everett, cornerback. Now, that is not a guy who's going to probably start right away. I think the other guys have the potential to actually be given on-field playing time in their rookie season. Everett's going to be behind the guys in his cornerback room, and I feel as if that's important for him to kind of sit a year, get the footing for it all, and it's going to be important. And again, he came from Georgia. He did. Yes, defensive back in Georgia. It's a very important thing for him to work off these guys, and it's a great pick. I do like what he's going to bring, but it's not going to be showing for another year or two. And of course, the Jennings dunker. The minute you see this kid's face, it was like, I've never seen a player look more like a Steeler in my life than this guy. This mullet, redhead, just the beard and mustache look. It was just like that right there screamed 70s, like old school Pittsburgh. That was such an awesome look to see. So when you have a guy who looks like a Yenzer and looks like a Steeler, what more can you ask for? And of course, it's a guard. That's going to be someone that has an opportunity to work in minicamp, maybe get a starting job. There's nothing set in stone yet. I feel as if this is a very important time for the Steelers to get this right, to build on these players. And this is another guy. Again, like Everett, Dunker is going to have a chance to do something, but I feel like we're not going to see that for another year or two. And then we get into the fourth round later on. The Caden Wetjen, is that how you say that? This guy is 5'9", about 190 pounds. This is a punt return specialist from Iowa. It's definitely something that needed to be addressed. So they did do a good job with that. The Steelers, again, when you see how this whole team is structured right now, it's all about trying to fill in holes. And this guy will provide that. He is, again, when you're that short on the field, that's a tough guy to bring down and try to get. So as long as he's never caught, this would be a very important thing to get correct. And if you can improve on that, get the punt return to go to the 35, 40-yard line to start every game, then again, that's a successful pickup. And I think that is going to be a great name for the Steelers. And then it was Riley Nowakowski. That was awesome to see Michael Keaton come out. that great actor. Love his work. Everyone does. He is just such a dude, and he is one of the best representations for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Hollywood world. It's such a cool thing. I mean, we have Batman. He is it's such a great connection. And to see him say that guy's name, it was a great moment. To see that they picked up a tight end that's a potential replacement for Connor Hayward, Cam's younger brother. That's really what it is, a fullback situation. I think they're going to insert him more in the running game with, Dowdle and Warren and Johnson. That's really what I think they're going to take with that. It's an important position, again, to replace a guy like Connor who, we always talk about, was he the most important, fourth pick or that fourth secondary dude? When you talk about Connor Hayward, everyone says, why do we have this? The fourth, string tight end situation. But every time they threw the ball to Connor, he was magic. He knew how to catch. He was very, what's the word? He was clutch. Yeah, he was a very clutch player every time they went to him. So can we find that in a guy like Riley? That would be a nice little addition too. I'm going to hold off on it, but it's right now a good position for him to be in. And then we went defensive end in the 6th round with Gabriel Rubio. I'm sorry if I say that wrong. Gabriel Rubio. That was their 6th round pick, defensive end. Where's he from? Notre Dame. Yeah, that might be something that could be helpful when it comes down to it. I mean, right now the defense, I feel like, has been solidified with the free agency. They have answered a lot of things with Neal and Brisker. These are very important players to pick up. They're going to have all their stuff organized as, again, Patrick Graham being our new defensive coordinator. He is going to very much figure out everybody's role, and I think that takes care of that. But, again, it doesn't hurt to keep adding on guys like this dude. I mean, Gabriel, is it going to be a big factor right now, being a 6th round? Again, more developed, see if it happens. And you don't know if he's even going to make the team, but that's really where it comes down to. This whole organization has to be building and filling up the holes as much as possible. So a guy like Gabriel, it's important to have. Robert Spears-Jennings, a safety, 7th round from Oklahoma. I mean, he had appeared in 47 games, 13 in 2025. He started 12 of them. It's definitely that was at the end of the draft. And, again, all the safeties we have already acquired. And, with Deshaun Elliott coming back, this right here is just, again, more experience. Just learn off these guys. Come into this mini camp just trying your darndest to get everything situated. But, yeah, I feel like overall the Steelers' draft class, the grade would probably be a solid B, maybe a B+. It definitely answered a lot of questions we needed on offense. I think that's really what it came down to, because free agency was defense and the draft was offense. Now we're just going to wait and see on June 1st what they're going to be trying to pick up when everybody does free agency again. And then mini camps start sometime at mid-June. And, yeah, we're definitely looking as impressed. I mean, we're trying to be prepared for this upcoming season, and they're answering a lot of questions. So as far as can we stay within the division, as far as fighting that, I mean, listen, everybody had a great draft in the AFC North. I mean, the Browns picked up every wide receiver we were trying to pick up pretty much. They definitely have a lot of answers. They answered a lot of their questions. The Bengals answered a lot of their questions, and the Ravens did too. I mean, getting Leone from Penn State, that's pretty much going to make that a wall for the Ravens' offensive line. He is a very solid player. He's going to have a great career. So it's definitely, we needed to solidify some things ourselves. And I feel as if we were to try to predict the AFC North right now, I do believe that I think that Cincinnati would still be 4th. I think Cleveland will go 3rd. And again, it's between us and Baltimore. I mean, it depends. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, we have a chance to repeat. That's just my opinion. I know that he is doing the classic, take your time with this again. We keep bringing up how long it's been since he said it, and if he comes back, I think the Steelers still have a chance to three-peat because, again, we have an offensive-minded coach with all these offensive weapons. We're going to score more. And we have a great defensive coordinator now, that's going to make sure this line and everybody's going to start to stop the run. This is really what we need to be talking about. Scoring more points, stopping the run. We get these two things figured out, guys, we are going to repeat. This is the truth. This team is absolutely built to be a very, very impressive team in the AFC for sure. I don't know about the NFL, but the AFC for sure, the Steelers have an opportunity to still make some noise, but it's all going to come down to if Aaron Rodgers comes back and these two things are fixed. We have that. This is going to be a great season. All right, guys, I am hanging it up. I'm going to say have a great day. It's been a good episode. I would like to also point out before I go to please go check out the Mark Lesko merch shop. Go to the markleskopodcast.com, right there on the bottom of our screen. And also check out merch. We've got some great stuff. I know Pirates are in there, but we're going to get some Steelers and Penguins stuff soon. And when we hit 2,000 subscribers, guys, we're going to be giving away some stuff from the podcast. Mark's show, they're going to be doing 5 items from the merch shop and a $100 gift card and a dinner out with him and Brett. For my show, 3 items from the merch shop and a $100 gift card of a sports online shop of your choice. So yeah, this is looking like we have an opportunity to stay relevant in this city right now. With the Penguins, Pirates, and Steelers, we still have a lot of things to build off of. It's a lot of positives, and we're just going to try to enjoy it as much as we can. So I will see you guys next week for the next episode. And until that time, guys, you enjoy being black and gold.